And she's in the studio, Lindie Malan. Lindie, good afternoon.
Hi, Christy. So glad to be here, of course.
Can't wait to hear what you have to ask and to chat about with Karen Lowe. Karen, good afternoon and welcome.
Hi, Christy. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, Lindie.
Hi, Karen. So I was looking forward to today. So listeners, today sitting across me is definitely a woman in her own making. Karen Lowe, currently the CEO of 4-Day Work Week, South Africa, the South African campaign. And of course, I want that to be our focus. But Karen, for people that don't know you, illustrious career as a business consultant, PR specialist, perception coach, which, on another day, I definitely want to know what that's about. And then also keynote speaker. And our paths has crossed. And immediately I thought, gosh, I'd like to know more. So Karen, welcome. So 4-Day Work Week, CEO of the South African campaign. And of course, I always want to ask, where did it start? So illustrious career, last 30 years in and out of business, consulting, marketing, communications. You've got a rap sheet of clients that you've worked with in the past, some really big names. And here you are campaigning for the 4-Day Work Week in South Africa. Just tell me where it all started.
Oh, Lindie, thanks so much for having me. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I think it was a moment of craziness, to be honest.
Oh my gosh.
It was one, I think I've been called crazy, mad, brave, courageous. So it's a bit of a mix of both. And I think being in marketing and business strategy, you are constantly on the lookout for trends. And one of the things that I was seeing a lot in my own work environment with my business, as well as my clients' businesses, was this increasing sort of conversation around burnout and well-being and the lack thereof. And marketing and advertising comms it's a notoriously stressful, high burnout environment. Big staff
always
churn.
Deadlines,
yes,
stuff that needs to happen,
absolutely.
Should have happened yesterday already.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And part of my job is always dealing with strategy and futures thinking. And we've got a group of girls, we call ourselves the Garage Girls. I'm like the semi-geek, they're all the super geeks, very clever, very, very clever bunch of girls. And this 4-day week kept coming up in our sessions, our breakfast sessions once a month. And I was the cynic. I was like, this is never going to fly in South Africa. It's not going to work. And it kept coming up. So I took it upon myself to rather be that person that kept saying it's not going to work, to get hold of the founder, Andrew Barnes, who lives in New Zealand and did the first trial in 2017. And I had a wonderful chat with him. He was sitting in a pub in Ireland and I was in my house in Somerset West, South Africa. And I said, come on, Andrew, let's talk about the 4-day week. I'm telling you, it's not going to work in South Africa. An hour later, I was convinced it would. And I proceeded to say, okay, let's do it in South Africa. And he was like, whoa, hang on. No. You're on our 2024 roadmap, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
And I was
at
like,
the tip
no.
of Africa, as always, right?
I was like, no, we're now on your 2023 roadmap. We're going to do this. We're going to try it. And it's a completely non-profit organization, Lindie. It's all volunteers. Everybody that has been a part of my story to date. I can't take the credit for the success of the campaign in South Africa. I have had so many supporters, whether it's suppliers, clients, people that have put their hands up to volunteer their time, their skills, their expertise. So this is a massive team effort that has happened. I just happen to be the mad one that stuck up her hand to do it in the first place.
Well, you know what? All good ideas get birthed. And then, of course, we need a couple of ambassadors, the flag bearers. So, Karen, so how long have you now been involved with this?
So I approached them first in September last year.
So relatively new.
Yes.
Like it's almost like yesterday, right?
Absolutely.
And immediately you said, no, 2024. And you said, no, we're going to push it forward, 2023. So it's interesting. Where are we currently? I know there's a campaign running. So, of course, before we get there, what were some of the first things that you needed to do? A CEO of this 4-day work week campaign, where do you even start?
I think I was very lucky to be able to draw on my experience being in marketing and communications. So I almost treated 4-day week South Africa as I would a client.
Okay.
So I set up a project plan and I teed up what I needed. Then I asked for help. I went asking for free help, which was the worst thing I've ever had to do in my life. But I approached Big Beard Web Solutions to do my design, Stacey Randall from advertising to do work for me. So there are a lot of contributing members that have literally gotten me here.
Wow.
So I just asked for help and people stepped up. And,
amazing. Human nature, hey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then my communications director and one of my partners in Go Forward, Nicola Payne, picked up all of the media side of things. So she ran with that and did a fantastic job with that. And Global just gave us the support we needed and let us do it. They trusted us and we trusted them. And it was a very steep learning curve. I had to learn a lot. I don't have an HR background. So, I had to learn a lot.
Yeah, I had to learn a lot. So after we get back from the break, of course, I would like to delve into more detail around the current campaign that's running. So yeah, love to chat to you after the break.
Busy with a business lunch with Lindie Malan, and she's chatting to Karen Lowe. Lindie, over to you.
Karen, of course, let's just start at the beginning, shall we? What is the 4-day week and what is it not? So maybe just an explanation about the concept. And then I read some stuff around the 100, 80, 100. So yeah, just for a basic explanation, please.
Thanks, Lindie. I think there are a lot of misconceptions about what it is and what it isn't. So I'm sorry to tell your listeners, it's not a Friday off necessarily.
No.
So this is not about taking a long weekend. It could be. There are many, many ways to reduce an average work week. So this basically is a research experiment. And the objective is in a 6-month period to get an organization's average work week reduced by 20%. So the 180-100 principle, which is part of the sort of global trademark, is 100% pay and leave, 80% of your time, in return for 100% of your productivity. So what it's doing is it's testing your ability to continue to perform and produce at an optimal level, but in a reduced work week. So you're basically gifting your employees and staff a 20% reduction in the average work week. They have to maintain their productivity levels. And of course, there is a really important ecosystem that develops around that because their pay is not affected. So it is a challenge really for an organization to say, can I test the research hypothesis that I can reduce this work week? And it's been proven all around the world. The trials have been run all over the world successfully. And we have over 92% of organizations that have participated, United Kingdom, Ireland, North America, New Zealand, Australia, etc., continuing past their trial and making a 4-day week a permanent thing within their organization.
Oh my gosh. Karen, I've just got so many questions. So I think the one thing that jumps to mind is, it needs to happen in a mature environment where there's trust, right? And transparency. And, so maybe, what is it not? So it's definitely not an extra day off, surely. But, what are some of the skeptics and the concerns? I mean, what are some of the things that you're hearing? No, it won't work because of.
Lindie, I call them the yes buts. It won't work for my industry. Yes, but it's a great idea. And, there are a lot of buts. And I think it's a very big undertaking for a large organization to do. You can imagine the change management required. And a lot of planning and preparation goes into it. So you can't just switch to a 4-day week. It is a very intensive onboarding, even for our pilot participants that are doing the 6-month research trial. There is at least a 4 to 6 week onboarding period. For large organizations, it needs to be longer. There are also organizations and industry sectors, for example, mining, manufacturing, 24/7 retail banking, retail environments, where it is much harder. So it's very easy to turn on in a head office, which is predominantly knowledge workers, and 9 to 5. The minute you've got shift work and very complex ecosystems within an organization, it becomes a lot harder to implement. But it's not impossible. And in fact, you've got Panasonic that has switched to a 4-day week globally.
The manufacturing
Unilever,
plant.
correct.
Oh, wow.
Unilever in New Zealand and Australia. They're very quiet about it, but they're busy rolling it out. Volkswagen is trialing it, not here in South Africa, but abroad. So there are definitely sectors where it is thought not to be possible. Construction in New Zealand, emergency medical facilities, 24/7. So, Lindie, it's not about a long weekend. Less than half of the organizations choose what they call a 5th-day stoppage, a Friday or a Monday off. It's a lovely idea. And if your business can do that, great, because you will see the rewards of that rest ethic coming in. But there are many ways to skin it. You can reduce shift time. You can take a staggered approach. So perhaps some staff take the Monday and the other team takes the Friday. You can take Wednesdays. You can do it fortnightly. And for working moms, they often choose to reduce a part of their working day every day. So go in later, go home early or
Yeah,
later,
I
or
think-
2 half days.
Listening to you, it's definitely the idea that I become the master of my own time.
Correct.
You pay me. I'm the skill. I'm the resource. So if you want to get the best of me, come to the party. Make it easier for me to be fully committed, present, giving my best, and it makes sense. I'm just thinking again, coming back to the preparation, but also what you said, where there's a will, it can be done. So, of course, I think it's an obvious answer, but how important is the ethos and, management thinking and philosophy around work? Because this is a new way of thinking around, who do I want to attract to my company? How do I want to keep them? And they're in the investment in welfare, surely, because that seems to be the main reason why we would want to do this, right?
You're completely right. There's a lot of tension in the environment due to our prolonged lockdown, Lindie. So this hybrid remote flux tension, a lot of organizations are mandating return to work and they're getting a lot of pushback. So flexible work has become a new currency. And if you're looking to, and you hit the button, you hit the nail on the head, if you're looking to retain young talent, this is the way to do it, because flexibility is a key part of what they perceive to be work-life balance.
Absolutely.
And they
my
value
daughter
it.
just recently changed jobs, and one of the things that was on the table is, will you allow me to continue with my hybrid solution of work? Because it fits me. I love the freedom. I feel that I can give myself 100%. So attraction of and retention of scarce skill, it's a thing, and you've got to
Absolutely.
give them something. And I think it can give a company a competitive advantage, wouldn't it?
Very much so, but it cannot fix a toxic work culture. And I think you'll find the businesses that are open to this are already agile, they're innovative, they're adaptive, they're forward thinking, they're strategically sound, they're people driven, they're people focused, their people matter. They're not expected to be bums on seats, therefore they're working. I can see them spying on them at home when they're remote.
And there's a trust again, right?
It's trust, and it's all the way up to leadership. And because the 4-day week is a bottom-up approach, you actually have to consult from the bottom up. You cannot mandate from C-suite down. And it's a very, very uncomfortable experience for leaders that aren't agile and flexible thinkers and open-minded.
Well, interesting. I'm actually getting goosebumps as I'm sitting here. When we come back, Karen, of course, I'd like to know a little bit more about the current campaign. You mentioned there's 28 South African companies part of the campaign, started in March. So I would love to get some feedback in terms of how's it going? What have you seen? So we'll be back straight after. Thanks, Christy.
Busy with the business lunch with Lindie Malan, and she's got Karen Lowe in the studio. Very interesting chat about a 4-day work week.
Karen, while we Christy entertained us with Book from Black, we were chatting about some of the feedback that you guys have been getting from the current trial. So 28 companies, maybe just some feedback that, how's it going out there? What's been some of the feedback and comments?
We've got a wonderful bunch, 28 companies from around South Africa. Some are micro enterprises and some are large organizations, and they are all helping each other. They're collaborating, they're problem solving together.
Almost forming a little network.
Absolutely.
Right? Focus group.
We've got a WhatsApp group that drives us all crazy, I think, but they all talk to each other and ask questions and
because it's
ask for help.
it's
very
shared
much.
learning. It's paying forward. What worked for you? What worked for us? That type of thing. Right?
No, very much. We have a number of different industries. We've got tax, we've got accountants, we've got communicators, but we've got Big Beard Web Solutions. They're a small company. They have made leaps and bounds in terms of how they're managing their time and what positive impact it's having on their company. Okay. 3 Verses, an ad agency in Cape Town. They can't believe the change in just 6 weeks from the start date of the 1st of March to now. The agency is more productive. It's nicer at work. I think they've chosen the Wednesday off, and half the agency's there and the other half is not. And everyone is calmer. The creative energy is back. The deadlines are being met. So there's been a lot of, I'm getting that a lot. There are obviously a few gremlins. People are still trying to figure out the schedules and what works for them. And I think it's important that the productivity is kept the same, Lindie, because if we have to move forward. We have to service our clients. We have to do the work of the organization.
It can never be to the detriment of the bottom line, right?
Correct. And also, what we were speaking about in the break really was about this rest ethic and giving your employees and you as a business owner permission to take intentional rest. And that is what's happening, is they are enjoying their days off and coming back into the office rested, relaxed, focused, and ready for better work.
Okay.
So
Corinne,
it creates this ecosystem.
It's just amazing, and it calls for maturity and trust. I want to just ask a question around something we discussed in the break, and it's the unintended consequence where things that can impact the economy, like sharing of jobs. That is one thing I want you to comment on. And then the second thing is an interesting thought. Many people think, hey, if I just had the time, I could start a side hustle or I could get something else going. So here's an opportunity. Yes, you rest from your formal job, but you can do with your time whatever, right? So what about a side hustle or something else? So can you just comment on the personal economic benefit, but also like the impact on the broader economy? Are there some benefits to gain from this?
I think if we manage to achieve some scale, Lindie, definitely. We're still trialing, and there are only 28 participants.
I mean,
so the June pilot and hopefully more, and as we roll out into Africa, we'll start seeing the numbers increasing, and we'll get more data and more understanding. But if you look at Holland and some of the European countries, they really do already implement this in their own way. Holland is really, really good. They're almost 2 people for every job. So you've got this job sharing. And what the 4-day week actually does in an organization is it creates that skills sharing. So what happens is tiers of and levels start happening with skill sharing happening between
better overlap,
correct,
continuity,
correct, because everyone needs that time off,
right.
And the skills development starts
lovely.
coming in.
It's very fluid,
very much so, and everybody is playing for the same incentive: time off. And what you mentioned about personal time off and what you do with that time off, you actually bring it to the forefront. You talk about it, because then if I said to you, what would you do with 20% reduced work week?
Yeah.
You might have a different answer to me. For me, it would be spending time with my boys, maybe going to watch cricket or hockey. Not cricket. I don't like cricket. Hockey or rugby or whatever it might be. But for others, it might be a side hustle. For others, it could be a hobby to go back to study.
Or maybe I want to use the time to write the book that I've always wanted.
Correct. And that is the beauty of being gifted and permissive rest.
And time is the one resource that's so limited.
Correct.
And oh my gosh. Karen, what's lying in the future for you with this whole, where's your dreams going with this?
I had very, very big, and I still do have very, very big dreams for the 4-day week. I'd like to see it scale. I think we need a scale in South African terms, but we also need to start consulting our neighbors, and we already are. So we're in talks with Kenya, Botswana, Namibia to be able to run national pilot programs in their countries. And it's important. Africa always gets left out. And what we have in our arsenal that the rest of the world does not have is a young population. And that is true of most African countries. We've got one of the youngest populations. So if we are having discussions about the future of work now,
everybody
the continent of the future, this is where it's going to happen.
Oh, that's
and we can't
exciting.
dictate it from the C-suite. We need to ask our youngsters what the future of work is going to look like and co-create it. And this is the opportunity. We've got to fix unemployment, skills development, youth upliftment. That's the long play. Diversity, inclusion, all of those tick boxes. And we need some time to do it.
Yeah, and I just get excited about the future because we're right in it, and of course there's the late adopters, but there's the early ambassadors, Karen, and gosh, please can we have that coffee? Because my mind's just rolling in terms of business coaching and working with my clients and looking at this as an opportunity to embrace. Karen, I think it's important for listeners to know where to get hold of you. So just give us a little idea, where do they get hold of you? And also just spotlight the campaign. You mentioned another campaign starting.
Yes, so we are hoping to do a June pilot to start middle of June. So we're busy recruiting for that. And we're hoping to get 50 companies on board, small and large organizations. And it is a 6-month trial that starts mid-June, ends mid-December. They can find me on 4dayweek.co.za. There's a section on there around the June pilot. Fill in a form and it'll come straight to me and I will get back to you. And you can also email me directly. It's Karen@4dayweek.co.za. Karen spelled Karen. So there's a bit of confusion for your listeners. So it's Karen.
But they'll find you if they're looking for you.
And reach out, join the coalition, be a part of the movement. It's for everybody. It's not mine. It's for everybody in South Africa, and I want everybody to benefit from it. We all need time
I love
off.
your abundancy, and I love your forward thinking, and I think we need to chat again. It's quite obvious. So look forward to that, and I wish you all the luck May God
Thank
bless
you.
you
And you.
Yeah, and all your dreams. Next week, back in the seat, Christy, I'll
Yeah.
be talking to Harry Welby-Cook. He's the master licensee of ActionCOACH South Africa, and we're going to spotlight business coaching. It's a relatively new phenomenon out there, but it's taken on, and business owners getting used to the idea that I am a professional at business, so maybe I need a coach.
Yeah.
So we're going to spotlight that. So always interesting chatting to Harry and looking forward to that. Karen, from the deepest bottom of my heart, thank you for the trouble and the time to share your life and passion with us. Christy, as ever, thanks for the opportunity.
Always a pleasure, and what an interesting chat. And best of luck for you. I think you should chat in June or July. When is this?
When is it kicking off the next one?
We hope to start middle of June,
June,
and we'll
yes.
need to sign up before the end of May in order to make that happen.
So when would be a good time to chat to you
Now.
again? Yes, of course, to chat to Karen, have a coffee. But I think around about June.
Definitely end of May, early June, and I'll
okay.
let you know
Well,
what's going
there
on.
we
But
go.
Thank you so much for having me. It was delightful to be with you.
Only a pleasure. Cheers. Thanks,
Cheers.
Lindie. See you next week.
Absolutely.
Okay, then. This program, Business Lunch with Lindie, brought to you courtesy of Venture Workspace at the Sanctuary in Somerset West, your local co-working office space offering hot desking, virtual offices, meeting rooms, and fully serviced offices. Venture Workspace helps your business grow with the flexibility and affordability you need. Always on internet access and reception support allows you to communicate your business matters effectively and efficiently. For more information, contact 021 035 1400 or visit www.ventureworkspace.co.za.